Welcome to my channel, Investing with Gaston. Today I'm going to be showing you particularly my investment portfolio, what do I invest my money on, and what percentage I put on every one of these type of investments. And also I'm going to detail some of my stock portfolio, what stocks do I have and where I invest this money on the different stocks that I have. I also have, within my stocks, I have investment stocks and I have some trade stocks. So I have a couple of them that actually are call options that I have them for kind of a long time. I have them for like January 2022, and some stocks that are for investments and some stocks that I'm going to be trading at some point soon. But I'm going to show you with details everything what is in there. Okay, so now let's dig into it to see what I have. And here is my investment portfolio, my total investment portfolio. So out of my 100% of the money invested in everything that I have 64.83% invested in the stock market, 2.36% in crypto, 5% in Airbnb, 17.79% in real estate, and 10.02% in cash reserves that I have for any other investment that may come up at any good time. Now, one thing that I'm doing wrong in here, and of course I'm human, is that I have way too much invested in the stock market. Our recommendation is always to have no more than 20% of your investment money in any investment type. And in this case, I'm way over that 20% with the stock market. Now, why did it happen? It happened because actually I started with the stock market many years ago. It kept growing and growing, and I actually let it go all the way up to 64.83%. So a good thing would be for me actually to reduce that 64%, go like if possible to 20%, but it's going to have to be reduced little by little actually. I'm probably investing in something else to accommodate that 20%. Crypto is good at 2.36% because it's not something that I want to invest too much right now. I'm holding a little bit. Every time crypto goes down, I put some money in it, but that's it. Crypto will be for quite a few more years, so I'm not worried about crypto right now. My Airbnb is 5% because it produces so much cash flow that actually don't need investment. My investment to be more than actually 5%, and that's what it is. On real estate, it's about 17.79%, so it's very close to my 20%. It's a pretty good number. But my cash reserves are only 10.02%. I need to make those cash reserves, which is for the investment part. It's not my personal cash reserves. This is for the investment money. Normally, I like to have it somewhere between 20 to 25%, because anytime a good investment comes in place, I'm ready to get on board and start running with it. And this is my stock portfolio, which is different than the total portfolio. So this is specifically what I invest in stocks. Okay, so you can see in here on my stocks, I have right now Nvidia, Amazon, Adobe, Neo, Block, Tattoo Chef, and Corsair. I don't have many stocks because I like to be able to control the stocks that I have. I use them in different ways. Some of them are investments, some of them are trades. So I need to control them, the way they are, especially the trading ones. Out of my investments, something that I already recognize I do wrong in here is that I have 48% of my investment portfolio of stocks in Nvidia, and it should be no more than 20%. Okay, so but this stock actually has been growing up, and I've been adding positions every so often, and it grew up to be 48%. So it's something that I need to start reducing my positions, but it's also giving me such a good gain, like 16.50% gain, that I don't want to cut it off at any time, but I'm gonna have to do it because my positions here are way too much. 48% is way too much. It's almost half of my whole portfolio invested in Nvidia. So that's one thing I'm gonna have to do is cut my positions here and move some of this money into something else. Now, from these stocks that I have in here, Nvidia, Amazon, and Adobe, these three are for investments. So these are for long term. I really don't care the time. This may be for years to come. Nvidia to me have a long way to go, same as Amazon and Adobe. And in my profits, they're giving me pretty good profits. Nvidia is giving me 16.50% profits. Amazon, which I started like not long ago, about I think about a month ago, is giving me 6.28% already. Adobe, same thing, 7.33% gain. So I can't complain. Those are good investments, are going to be for a long time. Suspect that Nvidia is going to get, past the 50% gain pretty soon. Then I have NEO, which is to me a trade. It's not an investment. I put 5.22% of my portfolio investment here on NEO. And so far it's giving me 7.95% gain, which is pretty good. But NEO is going to be one that I'm going to be selling probably in a few months. Block, this is one I'm going to be selling actually tomorrow. I only have 2.62% invested in Block, and it has only given me 0.56%. But since Block is attached to crypto, so basically I'm going to reduce this position tomorrow, and I'm going to buy something else. I still got to find out what I'm going to buy. Tattoo Chef and Corsair are also trading that I'm using. I'm not investing on them. They're actually call options that I have for January 2022. So these are basically options that I buy for a long time. Actually, it will be until January 2022. That's when I'm going to probably be selling them, okay, or closing them. So Tattoo Chef, I invested 3.66%, Corsair 3.25%, which when you invest in options is a whole different game that I'm going to be explaining in different videos in the future. But right now, I don't want to complicate your life with options. Tattoo Chef has been giving me 1.61% gain, but Corsair is giving me a loss of 6.82% right now. But I'm not going to sell them because actually my idea is to keep them until December, January next year. And actually, I'm pretty sure that I know Corsair will be going down a little bit, but eventually it's going to turn around and it's going to grow up little by little. So it's going to give me a profit that I'm probably looking for, same as Tattoo Chef. Now, don't look at my stocks to buy the same stocks, but I'm going to give you a little idea of these three main stocks that I do consider for investment as pretty good stocks, which is Nvidia, Amazon, and Adobe. Nvidia has actually a price range right now by the analysts of $1,000, and the price of Nvidia right now is $828. So it has a long way to go. Amazon is not a monster that actually is going to keep growing. That company keeps growing and growing. So it has for, much more grow actually. Amazon right now is running at 3,678 and actually could easily pass the $4,000 in the future, and even much more than that. And Adobe, which is actually giving me a pretty good percentage, is another huge company with huge growth potential, really good for investment. And right now Adobe is running at $596. So this is a stock that can easily get to $700. Those to me are three good investment stocks to buy. And I'm following them, and I'm going to keep them for a long time. That's what my investment strategy is right now. And on this screen, I'm going to show you what I look for on my Thinkorswim platform. Actually, this is from TD Ameritrade. It's called Thinkorswim, and I can see my charts every day. That's what I do. I do check my charts on a daily basis. As you can see, I have Adobe, Amazon, Corsair, Neo, Tattoo Chef, and Nvidia. And I have on the this on the daily charts, except for this that I just put it on my 5-day chart, so you can see how it's actually going from 5 days ago all the way up now to 596.66. How the stocks grow up. You can actually have the volume also showing up, and in my case I have few points. So actually these points basically tell me how much a stock kind of can go up to the top and how much to the bottom if there's a bottom. So there's a lot of options that we're going to be explaining in future videos, not now, but this is part of the screen, and that's one of the things I'm going to be teaching in future videos. And you have seen now my complete portfolio, my complete investment portfolio, and also my stock portfolio. And you could see that I don't invest in too many stocks. Actually, my investment is about 3 stocks. The rest is trading. And you may ask why I do trading and investing. It's because investing I see it for the long term. And now that I am retired, actually, so I'm living off some of my cash flow from my Airbnbs and from my stock. So that why I do trading on stocks. So that is my cash flow coming in every month, every quarter, every week, or whatever, when I sell a stock. So that's why I do that. Also, I'm going to be talking pretty soon. I'm going to be doing more videos regarding Airbnb, especially that now it's a really hot topic. And I'm going to be doing videos on real estate and also on crypto. Crypto is going to be coming later on the scene, but right now it's going to be mostly Airbnb, real estate, and I'm going to continue with the stock market too. Something else that I want to talk to today is also to help people around, right? The experience that this building collapsing left us actually should be learned in some ways that it can help everybody. One of the first things that I noticed that most people, when they buy, if you go and buy a house, you have to bring an inspector to see the house. Okay, you pay for the inspector, and he will inspect the house on your benefit. Okay. Now, most people, when the inspector come up with whatever things that are wrong with the house, that's the time that you need to sit down with the owner and negotiate a price. Okay, or get away from the property. Those are the two options that you have, right? So, but most people just keep going. I mean, they do their inspection. They might read the inspection, but they don't do anything about it. Normally, my own investment, and even when I buy my own property, I always use the inspection to actually negotiate the price a little bit more. So I get normally better prices because I negotiate based on the inspection. And I pay the inspector to do me a good inspection, a complete report inspection. So that way I have as much as detail as I can have. Now, when you buy an apartment, most people send an inspector inside the apartment to check how's everything in the apartment. So most of the apartments inside, they look fine, okay? Because every other damage is covered basically under the ceiling, on top of the ceiling, or between the walls, so you don't see much of the damage that could be there, right? But never send the inspector to go around the building. Check the building, check the garage, check the terraces, check all different things on the building, around the building, the area, and see how the maintenance of that building is, and if it needs, repairs, or if it's looking, that it's been neglected for a long time. If that's the case, get away from that apartment and, go look for another building someplace else. Because that at the end is going to cost you more money. For what happened in this case, the damages were so much because they let it go, and like with anything, you let go some damage on your car or on anything, and it's going to keep growing, and your expenses when you come to repair later on the game, it's going to be much more expensive than what it was originally when you could fix it for just a little bit. Okay, so it's really good to make sure that when you inspect the house, you look for all these details, especially apartment buildings. I mean, there's so many apartment buildings that are over 40 years old, but they're in really good conditions. Why? Because they have the right maintenance. And not only the right maintenance, the idea is to have the right maintenance and the right financial in the association. Like where I'm living, for example, I have pretty good association. This year they have redone all the roof of all the buildings around here, and it hasn't cost us a penny more. Why? Because the association is been reserving the money time over time, and when the time comes, they know, they're gonna have to do, replace the roofs, repaint the buildings, fix whatever things they have to fix normally every so many years, and they count with that, so they use the reserve for that, and it doesn't come out of our pockets. So two things important is looking at the finances of the HOA, and normally the banks, when you finance, the banks will look at that. That's why the banks mostly for buildings, especially old buildings, they require 20% to 25% down, because they don't want to, FHA will not approve that. And then secondly, do your inspection as it has to be. Do a good inspection, not only of the apartment, do an inspection of the building. Okay, so that's a recommendation for everybody, reading about the case of this building collapse in Surfside, Florida. Okay, and without saying much more, okay, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give it likes, hit the like button as much as you can, and don't forget the notification bell. And I'm going to recommend a video here. If you have not seen my video on how to pick stocks, the good stocks, please look at that video. It's going here, because that actually is going to help you to pick really good stocks for investment. That's not for trading, for investment. And I'm pretty sure you're going to make a good amount of money if you invest on the right stocks, the way I teach you how to look for the fundamentals, which is the most simple steps, but those are the most important steps of finding good stocks. All right, so please, and I see you in the next video next week. Thanks so much for being here.